Guys, in here, welcome back to another Dinosaur Simulator video. Today I'm going to be showing you if the Zweinova-Blank is worth it or not, because the Zweinova-Blank is one of the creatures that costs a decent amount for some people, but the Zweinova is also a part of another game badge called Monster Madness. If you haven't ever heard of Monster Madness, that's how you've gotten the Zweinova for like the past year now. With the Zweinova's type of mini dev. It's a mini dev to the Zweinova. I'm pretty sure the Zweinova has been like been around for a little while now. I think I've seen it in the old map. That's probably why it's kind of like the mini dev of it. But the Zweinova-Blank came out a little while ago, actually, a couple months back, and it came out for 33,000. And you had to have the Zweinova Slayer badge, not the new badge called the Dimension. I think it's called like the Dimension something. I'm not really sure what the actual new badge is called. I'll probably have to go back and see. But the Zweinova is the Zweinova Slayer badge. Kill 10 Zweinovas, and they recently made that a lot easier. By now you can get shared vanquishes, and shared vanquishes is really easy now in order to get the Zweinova. If you don't know how to get the Zweinova, basically, I might be making a video on that. If you would like to see a video on how to get the Zweinova, people still don't have it, which would be kind of weird, but if you don't have it, then I would probably make another, not make another video. I'd make a separate video than this one explaining how to get the Zweinova and the Zweinova. And some people call it Zweinova. I call it Zweinova-Blank, Zweinova-Blank. But it doesn't really matter what you really call it. But I know a lot of people like the Zweinova because of its range and some of its combat skills, and it could also swim. But the Zweinova has some pretty iffy stats, and for a random creature, it's actually pretty good. But the Zweinova actually has 1,500 health, 244 damage, and 5 defense, and really can't tank anything that much. It doesn't have a... Okay, the game's kind of lagging there. It doesn't have a relatively fast type of hit, but it actually does run pretty fast, so coming in with 20 sprint speed. Finally, some of the creatures on this list are actually hitting 20 sprint speed, because some of them haven't been. He's only a carnivore, which is kind of surprising since he's a robot. Both of the robots are only one sort of what their diet is. It's shouldn't a robot be both, because they are a robot, and some of the other things in this game don't really make sense that they are like an omnivore, but apparently the Zweinova is, so we're just gonna go with that. But the Zweinova can swim, as I said, and it only has 10 oxygen. The swimming animation is kind of broken because it doesn't really kind of just twitches around in the water, but the Zweinova is not really specialized around swimming. It can swim, it can get around places, kind of like the Violace Filius, so it would be able to go in for combat and type of things. But the Zweinova only has 270 hunger, but since it could swim, it can go down and get fish. But also, since it doesn't have oxygen, it can't stay down there long, so you will have to be going up and getting oxygen. It only has 100 energy, so you can't really be sprinting for that long. Everything has 100 thirst, and I think they should also fix that. I think they should maybe put different thirsts for different creatures, because a lot of different creatures have a lot of different capacities on how much water they can hold and what they can do. So smaller creatures, there should be 50 thirst, and then the bigger creatures like the Barrow, the Vilex, they should have 250 thirst. I don't know, it's just a little bit of an idea. If you think we should add that, if you think they should add that into the game, I don't know, maybe leave it around a suggestion, leave it down in the comments down below and see what you would actually like. But back to the Zweinova. The Zweinova is 33,000, and that isn't relatively a lot. It is less than a Nightbringer, but the Zweinova is better than a Nightbringer at combat, and in my personal opinion, it is better looking, because I'm more of this type of style thing. But the Zweinova, when it first came out, I really wanted it, so I got the Zweinova Slayer badge in a day, because I really wanted the new Zweinova. I stayed up till 4 a.m. trying to get it, and I got it finally. I came on here and I played as it all night long, and I loved it, and I still kind of love it to this day, because it reminds me of a soldier, and I don't know, it's just really cool. But the Zweinova, in my personal opinion, it depends on like what you're coming from. If you really like this type of style, then I would highly recommend you play as this, because it is a really cool creature. Its arms are swords basically, and it's just really cool in my opinion. But it also has like a structured tail, kind of like the alligator, I think it's called, and it just kind of looks intimidating whenever you first see it. But another thing with the Zweinova is that it's apparently based off some sort of mecha from like a Japanese cartoon or something. I'm not really sure what it is, because I don't really know much about like the like type of Japanese culture. I'm pretty sure it might be like a mythological legend or something. But I really don't know what it is. If you know what it is, like, leave a comment down there. And also, since we have fixed the Discord links like down below, before we actually get into the Zweinova PvP, I would like you to know that you should totally join the Discord, because we will be having events here soon, and we are getting really close to 500, which is half of 1,000. And I really gotta thank you guys, because we have only hit 470 subs in less than 2 weeks, and that's amazing. And that's actually mind-blowing to me, and I am having an amazing time doing this, and thank you guys for like all the support that you've been doing. It's really amazing. But the Zweinova for PvP is iffy, and it depends on what it's going for. If the hitbox of the thing that you're going against is more inside itself, and like it can't hit out much, like the Vilex Filius or the Black Dial, then I would personally not recommend it, or the Megalania. But I would not recommend it for that type of battle, because it can like die, and since it has 5 defense, it gets bled easily. And for a robot, I don't know how it would be bleeding easily, but it's just how it works. But since it only has 5 defense, it really can't go against anything, and it really can't tank anything. So I wouldn't really suggest going after anything that can bleed heavily or tank heavily. But for like a Sauropod, or like a Mega, or a Terror, or maybe even possibly an AV, I would highly recommend this, because it actually still has a decent amount of range, unlike the broken ranges right now, like the Butra, and I'm pretty sure the Hothead still has some broken ranges. But they would not be good for this type of battle, because the Zweinova is only got 5 defense, and it really can't tank anything that much. But then again, it can also swim, so it could get away from a battle. But then again, it would be weakened really fast, since it only has 5 defense, which makes it slower, and you wouldn't be able to get near the water if you're not even starting in. And since it changes its position in the water, then it changes the hitbox of the Zweinova. So I don't really know what the battle type is in the water, but I expect it's a little bit worse, because the swords are a little bit back and the head is a little bit more in front, which is kind of bad. But the Zweinova-Blank, if you're wanting to go against a tanky type of creature and a slow type of creature, then I would highly recommend it going against nothing with like too much bleed. But if you're going against just anything kind of else that can like do a high amount of bleed, or high amount of DPS, then I would watch out. I would say that the Zweinova-Blank is worth it, in my opinion, but since it can't do a lot on its own, then again, it's like a soldier. You can't really have it being alone. So if you have 2, yes, it would be worth it. If you have 1, it depends on the battle. But that is going to end off this video, guys. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all guys next time. Bye.